Okay. I always get confused on when this thing actually starts because there's multiple clicks or beeps. But I think we're good now. So I'm excited for this being our last one. These are fun, but I'm excited to get going on workshops. So it's fun to have learned all this stuff and be able to apply it into what we've been working on for the last 7 weeks. So it was fun to kind of finish up some of our reading and be able to next week sort of focus on tying up some loose ends and getting ready to teach. So I think it'll be exciting. But so I thought first I'd like to start off with this week's reading and some of the things that I found interesting from it. So I thought it was really interesting to read about Do Hardy's first differentiation between family therapy and family life education, because I feel like that's still a differentiation that a lot of people like don't really understand. At least people that I come across when I tell them that I'm doing marriage and family therapy major. They probably because therapy is in the title, but they instantly assume that I will be doing therapy, which I have come to find out during the course of this major that it's not my passion to do therapy, but that I love the family life education aspect of it. And so I really enjoyed reading the differences between the two. And I thought that, Do Hardy, it seems evident that family life education, maybe from the time that Do Hardy wrote his differentiations, has evolved a lot and maybe become a lot more effective and more widely used, which I think is great. I am a big believer in prevention, and I know one of the reflective questions asked for the 3 top words of family life education, and I really I could have thought of 3, but I really, really liked how the article that we read that kind of further defined family life education focused on the prevention aspect of family life education, because I think that I think that it's much better to prevent problems or address them early on once a problem has been identified, rather than trying to work in the past to affect the future. I really liked that differentiation. And sorry, my contacts are in, so I will have to get really close to the screen to read what I've written on my notes. But I thought that the second article that we read that further defined or kind of like refuted some of the points that Do Hardy brought up was really interesting in how they approach defining family life education, family therapy, and family case management. In that, I liked how they asked the questions like to whom, what, when, where, why, and how. And I felt like by addressing those 5 questions, like it was a really thorough base for each different category and the needs for each different category, and how to explain them differently to people, which I think is something that still really needs to be defined in our times. The last thought on this week's reading that I had was that while I was reading Do Hardy's model for family therapy versus family life education, it kind of made me think of my husband is in studying in the health field. He's a dental student right now, and I know in dental school and medical school, and in those professions right now, there's a lot of like, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, just interest in the topic of like mid-level providers. And so it's like there's the doctor and then there's the PA, or there's the dentist and the hygienist, and like how their roles interact and how much rights you can give to maybe like the subsidiary, or like how much can a hygienist do that a dentist goes 4 years further in school to do, or how much can a PA do 2 years after like a dentist or a doctor who has done 4 years of medical school and residency, and I just felt like that was kind of the feeling that you got with Do Hardy's educational model, or like the differentiation model, was that like family therapists were like the ones that had received the more education, and family life educators were kind of those that were encroaching upon the sphere of family therapy. But I think that the second article that we read much more viewed it as like an intermeshing, where they were able to work towards different audiences, and work towards like the same goal of strengthening families and helping them be strong and healthy. But it was able to take it from different approaches and help to like flesh out one another's weaknesses, or maybe like target audiences that they might be missing, or like they had kind of different audiences. I don't know, I just thought that that was really interesting to read about and compare and contrast. So moving on to some of the other topics that we studied over the last couple of weeks. So the importance of evaluation. I have to admit that while we read this, the section on evaluation, I was totally one of those people. I was like, I totally identify with those who think that evaluation is like a snore bore fest. Like, I do not enjoy that kind of thing. I've taken a class on like research and like the different ways you do it, and like the different means by which, you know, the effectiveness is measured. And it's not my passion. I would rather be the teacher, which the book totally pointed out that it's not the passion of most people. So I just thought that it was good to kind of have that be set up front. I know that that's funny, that that's like the greatest thing that stuck out to me, but just to have it be like, look, no one really enjoys that, but like, to make a stronger program, this is a necessary part. And so I thought it just gave me realistic expectations. I thought that the other stuff that it covered was good, but I just really liked how it brought up the point of a reason as to why you would be wanting to do the evaluations in the first place. Because they're not really that fun to figure like statistically out and mathematically out. And it's hard, you know, it can be hard sometimes to write an effective form of evaluation. So I liked that in our reading. I also liked how it talked about finding the objectives of your program, and how sometimes like when we try and incorporate everyone's objectives that's involved in a program, it can actually make it to be a weaker program. But by keeping like a vision, it helps us to build a stronger program, and like having everyone agree on like the ultimate goal can help us to create a stronger program, instead of throwing in like little things here and there that everyone feels is important. But having everyone like focus on like the big end goal can help to make like the steps in between much stronger. I just felt like that really helped to identify like what an objective is. And this is saying that network is experiencing difficulties. So I hope you guys are still getting this. So last of all, there is the importance of ethics that we learned about. And so in that one, I just thought that it, like, you know, having it talk about the code of ethics and how it can help our interactions with people. I think that it's important to have, when you're dealing maybe with sensitive topics that have affected families, like parenting or marriage, you know, these kind of topics, like it's good to have a code of ethics, because you know, we're not trained to be family therapists as a family life educator. So it's good to know like your boundaries, because it can keep you safe and help you feel like you can have like a boundary, because you don't want to go into areas of being like too connected with people if you're not prepared for that. So I just thought that it was good to like have a boundary set up, and that it can keep you safe, but it can also help you to know like when you should be redirecting people, because sometimes I feel like that's kind of a gray area that you don't know like how to help people. But by by applying that code of ethics into how you're teaching, like you should be aware of the resources that you can refer people to. And so I thought that was really helpful. And the other thing that I thought was interesting was reading the strength of a code of ethics and the weaknesses of a code of ethics. So the strength said that it carefully describes expectations for professional behavior and reflects important professional values, which I think it's important to know those things so that you can be professional in your presentations and help people professionally. But it also says that the weakness of code of ethics is that they're not grounded in theories, and the code is not used on a regular basis, which is a pretty big weakness if we're being honest here. But I just thought that it was kind of fun to read those things and see like the honest pros and cons of having a code of ethics. So anyways, I'm excited to see everyone else's learning, teaching interaction, and hope you all have a good week. Thanks. Bye. Oop.